ever experienced beautiful narcissism? Narcissistic.
Now, I came across that video which we crossed, right? And I thought it was really beautiful because I love when I can see men express themselves emotionally. And of course, we always go to the comment section. And I saw this comment from this man, and I want us to discuss it on a bigger scale. Now, it says, as a man, don't ever emotionally attach to any lady. Yes, you can, he wanted to say love her, but never include your emotions unless you don't love your mental health. And this is the same pattern of a lot of comments men had on this post, but let's even discuss it. Now, when I saw that comment, I had two emotions. One, here we go again. And then the second emotion is, wow, I actually feel bad for this man and many other men. And let me explain why. Now, when I talk about this division we've had for centuries, between men and women, I realized recently that these are divisions placed there for a reason. If you look at even religion and upper class and middle class and things like this, these are things that have been taught to us from the beginning of time. Remember one thing, no boy or no girl is built with emotions of hatred or not wanting love and all that. These are things that are taught and are infused in us. And it is actually very sad because when we look at men like these, in the system of men in general, they don't have a safe place or place to go express emotions, because from the moment they could talk, from the moment they could express themselves, they are always taught to handle things like a man and be like a man and act like a man without actually explaining the emotions behind those things. Now, when you think of women, on the other hand, yes, we're given a lot of rules. Oh, be careful of this, do this and do that, but we are also given a listening ear. Now, if I'm going through something, I can call up my friend and say, oh, listen, this is what I'm going through. I have that room to express that emotion and come to a conclusion of what I feel. But when it comes to men, and this is why I always say it is not for women to educate men on how to be and how to act, because these are things that have been infused in them. It is for men who haven't gone through that kind of damage to actually step up and change the narrative. Because look, like I said, women are allowed to express themselves. Even if you listen, even if you don't listen, they still have that room, right? But when it comes to men, they are taught how to just chest it and be a man. Now, let me explain what happens in a situation like this, because this is where family and society becomes toxic to our male children. Now, emotions are not something that goes away. Do you understand? When you tell a boy who is distressed and going through pain, and because for many years we have said, oh, women are stronger when it comes to emotional things than men, and I had to sit down to think about it. Women have been given the space to express their emotion while men are taught to just deal with it. And how does a boy deal with heart pain? They don't deal with it. That pain turns into something else. They manifest that pain in another way. And this is why I believe 100% that sometimes men become maybe a little bit more aggressive, because they never had a way to really break down that emotion. So sometimes it turns into something else. That man right there that made that comment is coming from a place of hurt. It's coming from a place of never understanding how to deal with emotions. Instead of teaching our men how to run away from emotions and hide from them, how about you explain to them how to deal with situations? Let me explain another thing. Life will always be unpredictable, especially when it comes to love. You can only guarantee what you feel for a person, but you can never 100% guarantee what that person feels for you. Sometimes you might be attached to that person and you are blending, everything is going well, and the person just magically changes their hearts. Now, if you don't process, let's say you split up, if you don't process that breakup the right kind of way, the healthy kind of way, you will end up resentful. If you look at boys in secondary school from the beginning, right? The first time they get to like a girl, first of all, their families will always tell them, be a man, be a man. So the first time they try to like a girl, they don't even know how to express that emotion. If you notice the dialogues between boys and girls, sometimes they'll pick on you first before they even tell you they like you, right? Now, at that stage, at that young stage, when they are fragile and they feel like they have an infatuation, or they feel like they love you, even if they don't understand the meaning of love at that stage, whenever they get denied or get pushed on the side, even the boys' friends group would tell him, just let them go. You see, this is how they are. Da, 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 da. Now, that boy is not given space to express that feeling properly and in a healthy way. So what does he do? He decides to just try as hard as possible to block away emotions, try as much as possible to just be masculine. Now, that feeling will translate into the man he becomes in the future, because number one, he's gonna start avoiding emotional interactions. What happens is, you think you're saving yourself the heartache of not feeling and not being. Love is about feelings. Interactions is about feelings. But the second you cut that part from you, you think you're protecting yourself, but what you're doing is actually depriving yourself of all the future great moments you would have, because you're scared to feel that hurt again. There's nothing wrong with feeling pain. There's nothing wrong with expressing yourself in a dignified way. What is wrong is depriving yourself of those great moments. Like I said, society and bad parenting has led to the men we have today. Now, a man gets married to a woman, he has a family and everything, because his fathers or the men before them teach him a certain way of thinking. That's exactly the same things he would infuse in his children. And this is why I speak all the time about unlearning things. Majority of our parents did not know what love was, especially in Nigeria. They didn't know how to express it or how to nurture you into adulthood. They just infused in you what they were taught. And now we have a lot of dysfunctional men around because everybody expected them to know how to be a man. Now you have to sit and ask yourself sometimes, what is it actually to be a man? Does it mean being a man means that you should be emotionless? Does it mean being a man means you cannot cry? What does it mean exactly? You should show macho when you're breaking inside? This is why today in society, a lot of men would rather keep quiet. But guess what? That emotion still exists. It doesn't go anywhere because it hasn't been looked into the proper kind of way. That emotion will turn into anger. It will turn into hate. You will see, when I look at a lot of men that actually, they convince themselves that, oh, cheating is the way forward, or oh, a man needs multiple women. This is a man that is avoiding anything that has to do with emotions. He loves his wife, right? But he would never put that emotion into it. So guess what? Let him do his thing on the outside, because at the end of the day, if Kasala boss, he boss, he is avoiding that. And our families taught us this. Our society taught us this. Sit and ask yourself all the things that are there to divide us. The world doesn't want a happy place, because a happy place is a united front. So they would create division everywhere. The best and the strongest division will always be between man and woman. They would always teach you things that would destroy the idea of peace. You teach men not to feel, women are taught to feel, there would always be a clash, because men will forever be considered, the logical ones, and women will be considered the emotional ones. Have you noticed how in recent times everybody's acting as if emotion is a bad thing, when that is the number one thing that guides everything? And emotions doesn't have to be negative, it could be positive. Feeling empathy, feeling joy, like these are all emotions, including anger and acting out of character. Think about it. Look at Nigeria for a second. Apart from the fact that there's a huge division between men and women, there's a huge division in classism, there's a huge division between tribes. What is the significance of all that? It's to keep people from uniting. Is to keep people from one straight path, because the day we decide to come all together, man, woman, child, anyone, that's the day we will start fixing our world. Look at the system even with hospitals and pharmacies. You know, there's a perfect relationship between them. They will never teach you the simplest things to keep sickness away from you, because they need to, the hospitals gives you something, and then the pharmacies, there's a perfect connection between them. But if we look deep into it, nature alone can cure half of the things we're dealing with now. But anyway, it's just a food for thought. Like I said, that is my thought process. I never want to create division between men and women, because we cannot exist without each other. But we need to look deeper into it. Okay?